What's up, everyone? JMetal797 here, and welcome back. This is episode 5 of Horror Inside. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a creepy story, something that legit happened to actually a family member of mine, and it's crazy. So if you get creeped out, guys, very easily, I suggest that you kind of click off this video and just not even think about this video. Just, you know what I mean? Like, it will give you nightmares. It's insane. It's crazy. It's creepy, and it's something that you won't forget. Something I definitely don't forget. Speaking of nightmares, speaking of dreams, dreams have been like an interest of mine since I was in my teens. I've read numerous books about them, and one thing that always stood out to me about these dreams and reading about them or whatever is that they say that, you know, each dream that you have, each nightmare that you have actually means something. For example, like you could be having a nightmare running away from something, like a creature or something, which in turn could mean that you are running away from something in your life. You know, you don't want to face something in your life. That's just an example. And dreams are wild, man. They really honestly are. And I've had some crazy ass dreams in my life. And, you know, I'm an artist, so I'm always thinking these crazy creative thoughts, you know what I mean, in my head. So you can imagine what my dreams or my nightmares are like. They're just insane, you know what I mean? And I'll do some videos on some of my nightmares in the future. Before I get into the story, I do have one question for you guys. Now think about this, okay? This is nuts. What if you had a nightmare and someone else had the same exact nightmare? Crazy, right? All right, let's get into the story. All right, so I have two family members who are actually identical twins, and they're twin sisters who shared a room with each other growing up. One of the sisters started having these crazy nightmares, these very dark, sinister, crazy nightmares, where in this nightmare, these creatures, these little goblin, elf-looking, I mean, this is what she was explaining to me that they look like, elf-looking creatures with these raggedy, teared up clothing, brown, black clothing. They had very sharp teeth. Their skin color was like she said, almost like an orangish, greenish color. And they had warts on them, and they were just nasty little creatures, okay? And now she said this when she was, you know, this started happening when she was, you know, 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old. You know, what 8 or 9 or 10-year-old thinks of these things? You know what I mean? Like, where does that come from? Like, the details. I mean, she told me the detail in their belts. You know what I mean? And what their belts look like, the color of the buckle on their belts. I mean, just really detailed, okay? So she started having these nightmares about these creatures, and they had very sharp nails, black sharp nails, sharp ass teeth, and they would claw their way through the wall, scratch their way through the wall, come out. And she said there was like 10 or 12 of these things, and they all had their own little personality, and they were all very, very sinister. And what they would do is they would crawl out of the wall and climb up the bed and go up to her and, you know, pinch her, scratch her, you know what I mean? Just jump on her, and she couldn't move for some reason. She couldn't move her arms, and she was just, you know, almost like paralyzed. I mean, crazy, right? I mean, I said before, nightmares can be crazy. We all know that nightmares can be crazy. But this is, the way that she described this was so down to the T on everything. I mean, I felt like I was there the way she was describing it. So they would terrorize her, you know, for a while and everything, and then finally they would jump down and go back into their hole in the wall. And she said that the hole would patch up after they went back into the wall. Now, she started having these dreams like very consistently, like almost every night. I mean, 2 or 3 days a week. And then it started getting to be like 4 or 5 days a week. And the same thing would happen, you know what I mean? Or they would redirect and, you know, climb up the other side of the bed. It wasn't like the same exact routine, you know what I mean? They would do other things, or they would come out of different parts of, you know, other walls in the room. Now, all of this happening while her sister is right next to her in the other bed, you know, sound asleep. You know, trying to give you guys a mental picture of this nightmare. So she named these creatures, and she still to this day does not know where this name came from. She named them Goths. GAWF', like goths, like that's a goth. What 9-year-old could think of a name like that? You know what I mean? Just think about this. What 9-year-old would just be like, that's a goth? You know, this is what a goth is. Crazy, crazy. So the nightmares became so bad that eventually, and she was scared to tell anybody about it in fear that these creatures would like do something, you know what I mean, if she told. So eventually she was so close to her twin sister, you know, she pretty much shared all of her thoughts, whatever, with her. She eventually told her about the goths. She came out and said, listen, I've been having these crazy dreams about these creatures that I named. No sooner did she get the word goths out of her mouth, her twin sister said, oh my God, the goths. She described each individual creature to a T to the other sister that was having these nightmares prior. They were both having the same nightmares, the same exact nightmares, with the same exact creatures. How could that happen? Is that something, you know, they say twins are psychic. You know what I mean? Like if you read about it, they say that twins are so close that they actually kind of share the same thoughts. But how can they share those same exact thoughts? The same name that one of the sisters came up with, the other one came up with too. Like how does that possibly happen? That's insane. I know it sounds borderline mental, you know what I mean, but this legit happened, guys, you know what I mean. This is a real story. So as they gradually got older, the dreams, you know, slowly started fading, and they no longer have these dreams now that they're in their 60s, but they remember it, you know, like it was yesterday. Who could forget something like that, you know what I mean? Please do me a favor. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to hear your guys' stories. I will actually leave my email in the description down below. If you guys want to send me stories through my email, I may read off your stories in the future for this series. So if you guys are interested in that, in doing something like that, please email me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I thought it was a great idea for this series. Please smash that like button, turn that notification bell on, please subscribe, and until the next video, guys, I'm out.